but she has to come here, so it would be interesting to meet her.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Oh my gosh. Daniela, I'm always yes, I know.
What is this, my third time on, fourth time on? Who knows?
We're gonna have to make this a monthly thing. Let's just build us up, support each other. I love how Denali, she was doing shout outs today. I mean, you jumped on and
I jumped on and I was at work and I was like, you're very distracting. I need to go inside.
I saw that because we were talking about you, because what was happening was
I know, I jumped into that and I was like,
someone
why are you talking about me?
Denali, I love your podcast. And she says, it's so many other podcasts out there. And she started naming, and she's, Leslie happens to be on here, Retail Fashion. And then she was like, wait a minute, I'm thinking she was like, why can't I remember? Oh yeah, Thrifters. And then she named a couple more. Hello, Sarah Styles. Hello,
hello, Sarah. Hello, Margaret.
Margaret. Thank you for joining us. My good friend Daniela is here. We're just going to be chatting. When she says yes, I'm like, yeah, there we go. There's a big welcome for you, Daniela.
Hey.
So I love when Daniela comes on, so we can't, forget your thing. Yeah, I got all
fake. You got the banners going. You're fancy.
I'm just showing. Right. I learned that from Sarah. Sarah hasn't put up her logo yet, but I learned all the banner stuff between Sarah and Blake. It's like,
I know.
So on here with Daniela, I'm going to put a shout out into our group because we need more people to be on here. Where y'all at? Oh no.
Yeah, let's go. Come be friends and hang out.
Seriously, is this upgraded StreamYard? Yes, I actually pay for mine because my intention is to start using it in my master class. So I think it's like $20 a month or something like that. So you can add your logo, change your colors and all that.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this similar to Zoom?
It's similar to Zoom.
Able to broadcast?
Yeah, it's similar to Zoom. One of the things about Zoom is the only thing different with Zoom is you can have an unlimited amount of people. With my StreamYard, I can have up to 10, but I like this better. I was on Unequal Match last week, Carla, and she had a live. We were talking. She had women on there. She didn't know when she went live. I'm like, Carla, you're live. She's like, no, I'm gonna get a message. I'm like, Carla, I do this twice a week. We were on Zoom, and Zoom feeds you in to live. Yeah. I'm like, we're on.
Okay.
No, we're not. We're literally. I'm like, so well, ladies, just watch what you say, and that's what I said. Her husband comes in. And he's like, sweetie, yeah, you got it. You're live. And I'm like, I'm telling you, you're live. So people literally in the comments going, we're live. You can't see any comments from Zoom the way you can here. And so I'd said to her and Rosalind, just do StreamYard. It's free. Where Zoom, you have to have that monthly subscription.
Yeah.
I only have mine, of course, because of the podcast. But
I was going to say, we have it for the podcast. So it makes sense for us to have it for that. But exactly. I heard someone else had said that you can stream using Zoom. And I was like, I don't know, because Zoom's we use it for work and it's very glitchy sometimes.
It was very weird. So, I mean, we were on. And at least from your end, you could see our beautiful comments here. I could see nothing, so I had to pull my tablet out. And that's why I was like, we are on. I said, it's a ton of people in here. Hello. So that was the weird kind of thing. And that's how it was when I was on with Poshmark. They were like, Zoom. I was like, why are we going in through Zoom? We go into Zoom, and they're like, we're live. And I'm like, I can't see anything. I'm just like talking. It was weird. So I had to do everything from my tablet in order
I don't like that.
And talk to you. You'll see the difference. You're probably not going to like it. So that's why I love this, because I'm going to be doing the master class and some webinars. So this will work better for me. But thank you, everyone who's here. Rhonda's here. Adrian Scott, hello. Sarah said, oh, snap, I don't like that. Yeah, I've heard Zoom. It gets really weird. It's perfect.
I think the reason why is because Zoom was not designed for what everyone's using it for today. They were just a conferencing. It was just a way to conference.
Yeah. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is they've been around, but in the grand
forever.
They're behind. Because Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg just jumped right in there with his rooms. That's kind of glitchy. It's a whole nother story beyond that, because the people I've attended a couple Posh and Sips. You go into the rooms, but it locks you out after a certain amount of time. And then if I'm on there, you know how we all have our face on there. They put you in a little corner box. And in order for you to do a screenshot of something, you have to push your face off the camera.
Oh, that's annoying.
And you're on top of someone. So it's like so you can see yourself front and center, but I would be on top of you and see all the other people in the Zoom, in the Facebook room. So it's kind of
like a web. Is it like a web almost?
It looks just like Zoom, except for my picture is like out. And that the person who is seeing themselves, even the host, is their picture is like front and center. So when they do like a screenshot, they're not getting, themselves, or they're covering one of their guests. So I'm here with Daniela today. Daniela, everyone here knows you because I can tell, but just introduce yourself really quick.
Not true. Not everyone knows me.
The people right here do. Because
everyone knows you, okay? So, hi everyone. My name is Daniela, and I am a fashion clothing reseller. I'm going to stop saying part-time reseller because it's not true. I am not a part-time reseller, but I'm also not a full-time reseller. I'm just like in this weird in-between land where I'm not part-time, but I'm not full-time. I do a full-time job outside the house. Yes. So I work in state government. I am extremely busy right now, as you can imagine. So I am an essential worker. And I have a podcast with Lori Tata. It's called Thrifters Villa, and we've been doing it for almost a year now, which is crazy. We have a really interesting podcast. It's a little different from all the other reseller podcasts. We talk about lifestyle, entrepreneurship, reselling. We do crazy little segments together. Like we just did a Truth or Dare one, reseller edition, which was a lot of fun. We bring guests on that some are resellers, some aren't. We have guests that come on that you probably would never even know about or never even hear about until they come on to our podcast, and we kind of give them the exposure that they deserve. So those are called coffee talks when we do that. And then Lori and I sometimes just literally talk, and that's all we do. There's no rhyme or reason. It's kind of like this tonight. It's just us talking to each other, and it's a lot of fun, and we really love doing it. And so that's been really great. I do have a YouTube channel as well, which is fairly new, but it is growing. And it is Daniela Malcasian or the Chronicles of a Reseller. You can look it up either way. And it's reselling based, but I also add my own flair to it. So it's like reselling, lifestyle, vlogging, entrepreneur life, real talk. Like it's a little bit of everything. It's just kind of who I am. I'm a teacher by trade. I have my master's in teaching the visually impaired. So I taught for about 8 years in the early education level, and then K through 21 before I ended up in state government. So my experiences in teaching, so a lot of things that I do are more teaching related. And you'll notice that on my Instagram posts, except for lately because I've been really lazy. But I've also been very busy.
You're busy.
Laziness. It's just, I'm just busy. But most of my Instagram content is geared towards teaching different things or sharing experiences. It's not like, I may post a pretty picture, but the caption, the comment itself is based off of something that's educational in some way, shape, or form. So that's me.
Yeah, I definitely, one of the things, because I'm going to be releasing, a lot of my content lately has just really just been kind of sit down style, because videos wipe you out, don't they? Like it's from. Yeah,
it's an interesting dynamic because I can talk. Like talking is not a big deal. Yeah. It's the making sure what you're putting out is actually meaningful. Yeah. Like, I don't want to just put out videos to put them out. Like, I don't care. That doesn't interest me. That does not, like, I don't want my YouTube channel just to be random videos like, hey, this stuff sold this week. I know. Like, that's not me. And it's great for those, like, it works for some people, but it doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Well, our good friend Lori has built a great YouTube-based Lori's Boston Found. She's Lori Tata here on YouTube. If you do not subscribe to Lori's channel or follow her on Instagram, she's more active on YouTube. That's how Daniela found her. Lori just hit 10,000 subscribers. I don't know all about the other people. And what I will say is the reason that 10,000 is incredible because Lori really hasn't been doing it that long. Right. But if you want a lullaby, if you want to be calm,
perfect.
Lori's voice is so magnetic. Like I could just sit there when she's on here. I just like go ahead and talk. It's just so calm and so mellow that's what you want. You want to go because I've been on channels where I just can't stand the people's voice. I'm like, we're good friends, but I just can't. Not you, Sarah. But then I'll be
not talking about you.
Yeah, I love Daniela because I love her accent, Lori is chill, and there's a couple other people that just kind of like pull you in. But just how incredible that is in the reselling community. And I'm not talking about anybody else. Everybody else, all the other resellers have their own story. I don't know half of them. Lori, I know personally. I know her personality. I know who her family is. I know what she believes in. So the fact that she's got from there to here and still has so much of a journey to go, man, if you want some great content, because I'm not a person who does like what solds and things like that. I'm a Jomar affiliate, so I do that to get my free stuff. I do my YouTube videos.
I mean, whatever works.
Oh, seriously. So that's really the whole concept of me unboxing. Like, but for the most part, I'm not a haul kind of girl. So my content, like Daniela's, is going to be so much different. But that also speaks to who we are as individuals, as a community. Sarah has her YouTube channel. Margaret has her YouTube channel. Terry's coming up with hers. Cynthia, everyone has something to contribute. And so that's what makes us unique, and the support that we have from each other, you know?
Yeah, we were just talking about this before we went live, and I was telling Leslie that the most views, like the videos that have the most views on my channel, are not the hauls. It's not any of that kind of stuff. It's the educational ones. It's the one about search engine optimization. It's the one about comparative pricing. Like, that's what people are coming to me to. So that makes me think, now that I've put out a few more videos out there, I can kind of gauge, right, what people like and what they don't like. And they like that more educational style from me. So that just tells me I just need to stick with what I'm comfortable with and what I'm good at, and then produce it and make it applicable to not just resellers, but to anyone who's coming in. So fun fact, I have 3 crocheters actually that messaged me, that watch me on YouTube, and even though they're not resellers, they do sell.
Yes.
And it applies to them. They use the different things I talk about, and they're using it in their business. So I thought that was interesting.
No, I really think it's interesting. And again, before I wasn't really looking at my analytics a lot, because I am really into more just organic growth, but I also wanted to still be clean, where it's welcoming for people. And so I want to reach people. So now I'm looking at it a little bit more, because if you really think about it, right now is the time that people are interested in the educational piece. Because my story, I did my first video in January 2019. It's literally less than 2 years. And I stopped at 30 videos because I was not feeling love. You know, it was so many hauls and so many sold. I was like, you know what? That's not my thing. So I walked away from YouTube for a year. I did not come back to YouTube until the last week in April of 2020. I had 130 subscribers. That's the thing that people don't think. They're like, oh, you've been on YouTube for a while. No, I took a whole year off. And the only person who really kind of convinced me was Nikki from Glow Girl Glow. She says, Leslie, I watched all 30 of your videos on YouTube. When are you coming back? I'm like, well, I have 180 over at IGTV. So
go watch those.
Exactly. So that's what I did. I actually stepped away, built my following and community over there on Instagram. So when I revealed my podcast, when I revealed that I was coming back on YouTube, and I feel that because of everything we're going through, and I'm pretty sure Danielle can relate, that people need to be fed. They need information right now. Yes, we need hauls, but there are a lot of people who do not have the opportunity to source, and they have to be creative. And you got to really dig deep down into your analytics these days and figure out where your money is going, what's coming in, what's going out. So what do you feel about that, Daniela?
So we're going to talk about present day right now and what's going on in my state. We are currently we're heading towards a surge again here. Our governor came on yesterday and basically said, this is bad, and it's very likely we're going to have to go back a phase if things don't change in the next 2 weeks. She's not canceling Halloween. However, the consensus around everywhere is we're not passing out candy.
Yeah.
You might have some kids going to like grandparents' house and that kind of thing, but I know we're not doing it. I told my mom, you are not passing out candy. Absolutely not. Like, it's not happening. I know it's something that we've always done, but you're not doing it this year. Like, I can't chance her or my grandmother getting it, right? So, so my brain has now shifted in the last 24 hours, because if that's the case and we have to go back to phase 2, a lot's going to change. And she's going to put stricter restrictions on things. So in phase 2, we did have thrift stores that opened, but it was extremely limited. And now she's going to put even more restrictions on it. I don't know what that means. So I kind of have to backtrack a little bit. I do have a surplus of inventory, and you know this, Leslie, because we talked about it, and some of you guys might know too that might watch my channel or listen to the podcast. I've been hoarding stuff on purpose because I knew this was going to happen. The data shows that this is going to happen, right? We're going into flu season. Schools are back. Like, we're mingling again. It was going to happen. So I do have a surplus. So I feel okay if we were to go into phase 2 for like 2 or 3 months. I have enough stuff here that like I can relist. I can can send things off if I need to. Like, I feel okay about it. If it goes longer than that 2 or 3 month period, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it means for other states as well, because I know Canada just shut down their bars and restaurants. France just shut down again. Like, it's happening. I think people that are not able to source right now are really feeling it. I think that it's causing them to have to shift their mentality and shift what they normally do, and maybe put reselling on the back burner and start focusing on something else. Maybe, doing some other type of, there's plenty of options, right, of what you can do at home to make money. You just have to do the research on it, but there's lots of different ways. You see a lot more people doing pallets because it comes right to your door. So that's not an option for me right now, so I can't do that. I don't know. There's just the landscape right now is, it's a lot of unknown. We've got an election coming up, and I don't care what side you're on. It doesn't matter what side you're on. It causes an economic risk no matter what.
Life that matters, yes.
Yep. And the other thing, too, is we've got these big, giant stores right now running crazy sales like Amazon and Target and Walmart. That's why your sales have been slow, guys. If you haven't realized that, the last week, sales have been slower.
Business, yeah. It's
because they're taking the business away.
Yeah, it's serious. Yeah, it is.
There's a lot going on. It's
a lot going on, and we can say 2020, but we're like knocking on 2021. It's like
and I'm going to be honest. I don't see any of this changing in 2021. I'm thinking like 2022, 2023. You're going to see a change, but I can't guarantee you it's going to be a good change because we're in a really bad place right now, and I don't even think we're at the lowest point.
Crazy. Yeah, the economy, it's like really, really crazy, and I am with Daniela. I think this is the time to start preparing. So if you're a person who normally like loves shopping and all that, this is all a suggestion. You can do whatever works for you, but I'm telling you right now, if you don't have any money right now, stop spending money. If you don't have any savings, any investments, stop saving money. Find out what you can give up and how you can live. Thomas, like the things that I buy are all business. I treat myself to nothing. So when I get it, like my MacBook, that's an investment. I have a business license. I can write that stuff off. It's not like I'm shopping for the fun of it. This Rolo printer, that was a birthday gift from the beautiful community. I took that money that everybody gave me and bought a business item, and some sneakers and some yoga pants, really. And so, and a couple other things, but like we have to prepare. So often people send me DMs, and it's amazing how many DMs I get from people. How do I become a full-time seller? No, prepare for life, people. Prepare for pandemics.
Yeah, I have to be honest. Don't prepare to be a full-time reseller right now.
No,
please don't.
Prepare for life. That's really what it is. And I am so thankful and grateful that not that this is happening, but because it's happening, that it's happening now. I have no young babies. I don't have to worry about people in school, and all my children work. They have an income coming in. My daughter, Stephanie, she does get unemployment. So thankfully she had a nice cushion already because it's her. She went home. She's an adult on the spectrum. We're saving for her, whatever she wants to do. But she has, now if I had to take some of that, I could, but working for the last 4 years and not, she doesn't spend her money hardly on anything. She finally just broke down. I was like, sweetie, is it something you want? You got money. She bought herself a television and she invested in a mini iPad. So, So no, you don't even have to make excuses because she buys nothing, so that is that's the mentality she had. That's like my son. He's like the cheapest kid I know. And I'm so happy that he is. Well, thankfully the Army's feeding him too. But he really is. He's like, Mom, I want to get a car. Sweetie, don't worry about that right now.
I want to address Sarah's comment where she states that she's doubled her growth during the pandemic. So I think we have to clarify that if you are a newbie coming in it's going to be very difficult for you to reach the status that Sarah's at right now. And also Sarah had a pallet come in, which also makes a big difference as well. So it all depends on where you're established in your reselling journey.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important to be, to clarify on that because, and then I also think it's important to clarify that our price points have changed in things that we're selling. And yeah, I mean, a lot of that goes into it. And I also think that being a reseller is great, but being an entrepreneur is better.
So I agree 100%.
I think it's okay to be full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm not a reseller. Reselling is just one of my businesses.
Right.
So that's the way that I approach it. But I agree, like what Daniela was just saying, we can use Sarah because we know Sarah is a friend. She does have an established business, but then also she's mathematically inclined with a dashboard. So
Sarah's really good at sales.
So let's throw it out there where you kind of know what's working for you. And like one of the blessings has been for me is that I did partner up with Joe Moore and I have an affiliate. So everything that I get is free now from Joe Moore because I have so many people using my affiliate link. That's why we need to get affiliate links and do stuff. I paid nothing out of pocket. For every $100 that I make, they send me, like I don't get cash. They send me a gift card. I just got a box of athletic wear, Bally's and some other brands of stuff that's already selling. I've gotten Macy's pools. I've gotten Target stuff, winter things that's already selling. So that's the cool thing because it's not stuff that I would normally get, but also I can share it with my daughter. Stacy, who is like a bread and butter, Forever 21 is the stuff she sells. So she comes over and I go, oh yeah, I only feel like listing 20 today. You can have the other 30. And so that is what I do. And I just some men's stuff for Thomas. They sell shoes. They have everything. I just got a box full of Converse and all Converse and Vans. And I already 3 pairs paid for my whole box. It was $64 for a box of 20 Converse and Vans.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
So you got to get creative. I had another company reach out to me today. I won't talk. I have a call with a guy next week or something, so I'll see what that's about. But yeah, you definitely just have to really think about and be creative in your sourcing. But one thing, and I'm pretty sure Daniela can agree, just like she was saying, the newbies. It is the newbies, but it's also the people who are already struggling. If you are already struggling, my daily Instagram, when I talk about Instagram, some people, they back away from it. Like if you work like Daniela, you can't be like on social media and stuff. But for me, that's part of like one, my education, but then also part of my business model where I kind of go through and I look and see what people are doing. And I'm like, yeah, well, first of all, if you get off of Instagram, you could probably not for me.
If you have an iPhone, it tells you how long you spend on these things. Okay, pay attention to it.
Probably make some money if you stop talking about people and stop complaining about your customers and stop like wondering who's selling and who got the biggest pile. If you stop that, one, you can make some money. But also, if you stop admitting that you're a shopaholic, stop shopping. Now start selling that stuff. I guarantee if you go through your whole house, you've got about $5,000-$10,000 worth of product that you're sitting on. This is the time, if nothing else, that we found out what is really important in life.
I'm looking at my analytics right here for how much time I spend on my phone. And I spend an average of like 3 hours on my phone. I really don't spend a lot of time on my phone at all. If anything, I spend more time on my computer than I do my phone. But I only spend about, 35 minutes on Instagram a day. 35 minutes Instagram a day. And the majority of my time is in my text messages because I'm either messaging people at work. So a lot of my messages, like I said, if you have 3 hours of messages, I was in a group message for people at work. So a lot of that goes here. But yeah, like eBay, it's only 8 minutes because I don't spend a lot of time on eBay. But Instagram's only that half hour. So it's not like I'm not spending a lot of time on social media. I'm not. I'm focusing on myself and my business.
Yeah. You're right. The pandemic is highlighting all of our weaknesses: business, economy, social, etc. My mother is like really funny. She's like, at the end of it, there's going to be babies born and divorces on the other end, and all kinds of other stuff. I mean, like this is a bad time. If you are already a person who's depressed, I can't even imagine. Find some friends, come out into the light. I can't even, because I have my moments. I don't suffer from depression, but everybody gets down. I call myself. I get stressed. So that's why I get fat, because I like to eat. So I rather eat than,
I'm Italian, so what's my excuse?
You know what I'm saying? That's like Italian and blacks. They go along. We like to eat.
All we do is eat.
That's how you comfort people. Like I used to say when I was growing up, I said, Mom, that person always complain about they don't have any money, but they always feed me. Always food. That's how you show love. There's nothing wrong with that. But I definitely think she said, "Hey, Sarah, I keep it real. I tell people all the time.
I can tell you the majority of resellers are probably shopaholics.
Shopaholics. They like, because especially people who are having some challenges at home, and their spouses already know. It doesn't matter if it's man, woman. Their spouses already are like, wait, what are you doing with those bags? Oh no, sweetie, I'm reselling. Yeah, right. So that's your way of band-aiding the things that you're doing, and it's not a good thing.
No, I mean, do we all fall into those ruts when something's going on in our life and we want to like feel good about ourselves? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all fall into that trap of buying things to help ourselves feel better because we've been taught that material things makes us feel better.
Yeah.
Constant down, lower offers. It is the market. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Denali
100% the market.
That's what Denali was talking about, because she was off for 5 days and she came on just for her live. She was shipping. That's what she was doing. More talking than shipping. But she shipped out 45. But as she was going, she would say, "Oh, this is what I sold it for." And people were like, "Wow, you're okay with $13 sales?" She was like, "Yeah, sell is a sell." She's getting pallets, and now she's back shopping at the bins. So she's breaking it down. So she's like, "Yeah, I made 13 here, but I made 300 here." So it's like that balance there.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that's been sitting, I'm like, man, take it away.
Take it.
For real.
Take it from me, please. I don't want it anymore. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Sarah, you have
when people hide their bags.
Oh God! Look, well, let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you, everybody, real quick. I used to, in my first marriage, I was not very happy. I was a shopaholic, and I was very young. I got married when I was 19. So by the time I was 21. I had bankrupted us. So I think that people need to understand. I am Leslie. A reseller's passion is just my name. I'm so okay with being transparent. We're talking 30 years ago. That 30 years was like a blank for me. But I was a shopaholic. I would hide bags. I would lie to my husband and said that somebody bought this for me or whatever, till we got to the point that we had to go bankrupt. And so that was a lesson learned for me. We didn't get divorced because of that. I got divorced because I was unhappy, and that shopping was a Band-Aid to heal what I was going through. So I can, not to preach to people, I can totally relate. Almost anything that you can throw my way, I can relate to that, And so if you're going through some stuff, you have to figure out something else. You got to look within yourself, because if you're bankrupting your family right now, what are you going to do if you lose your house? Most people don't own their house. Thankfully, Thomas and we rent. And that was a decision that we made because we've both owned homes. We've both been married before. We've both had debt. We're clean from that. And we're slowly making decisions of where we can go. We have the freedom to do that. If we never want to own a house again and just give our rent money, we can do that if we want to. Because home ownership is not a simple thing. Because once you own it, you have to take care of everything. Living in this house for 8 years, we haven't had to pay for nothing but the rent and our utilities. Something great, fixing it. So you have to really think about what's important. I am not shy to tell you that I was a shopaholic. Okay, so
I definitely went through phases.
Contact me if you're going through some stuff. It is something else. You're going through something else. Okay, it's just another type of addiction. Okay, like I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, but I had an addiction back then, and now that's why I said I'm debt free. I owe no one nothing.
That's great.
I may not have a whole lot of money in the bank, but I can sleep comfortably knowing that no one's going to knock on my door. I don't have student loans. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have anything. And people talk about credit cards and stuff like that. I'm 51. I could care less about any of that other kind of stuff, because I'm not, if I don't want a mortgage and I want to move into a condo and pay for the rest of my life, I'm good. I don't need a credit card, so somebody else's story. That's not mine. I have investment.
I also think, Leslie, that we should talk about, when it comes to finances in the reselling business, that it should be a separate thing. Separate. Yeah. So this applies to if you work full-time outside the home, your money that you're spending for your reselling business should not be your paycheck. It should be your reselling money that you're reinvesting into your reselling business. it should never be your paycheck that you use to pay your bills with.
Yes. Yes.
Don't do that. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's very bad. So the money that I invest into my business is solely the money that comes out of my business. I do not pull funds from anywhere else. I don't put anything on credit cards. I don't do anything like that. I just use whatever money I have, and I allocate it differently every month. Sometimes I spend a little bit more depending on what I'm finding, and sometimes I spend a little bit less. It all depends on the week and what I'm finding, but I need to make sure that everything is going into my savings accordingly and going into my bills accordingly, because I do use my reselling money for bills. But I have to allocate out that first before I can source. So I think it's really important, if you work outside the home, don't touch your full-time job paycheck or part-time job paycheck. Don't touch that.
And I can definitely speak to that, because of course I haven't always been home full time.
Mm-hmm.
Not my full. At one time, reselling was my full time. When I left my job, reselling was my full time. But before I left my job, I set up 3 bank accounts, and now I have 5 bank accounts since then.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband and I, we have an amount that we agree on. We don't have joint bank accounts. That's just what it works out better for us. We had separate children, and he was still paying for his daughter. I was still paying for my daughter, and it just works for us. And we have an amount that I buy all the groceries, and what he's going to do, and we come together. That's what a partnership is. We've made a decision of what works for us. Like, been around. My husband will be 63 next month, so he knows what, and I know I'm good. He never asked me. He never has to say, where are you putting your money? I would tell him it's not a big deal, but that is a conversation we never have, because I'm not taking any money out of the household income to take my business. So if something comes like Amazon, it was one time because when we first got into this, Amazon was coming almost every day. He never blinked an eye. He would say, do you need help? How many packages or whatever? But we're at that point now that, we're at retirement stage. So we're not young people. We got to worry about what you got coming. What's that? My husband has a pension. We could, once these 2 girls leave here, we could totally live off of Thomas's pension. He was a firefighter. He worked for that. But thankfully, we have resources that we want to have more. So I agree with Daniela, and I teach that. And if you get my ebook too, you'll see that I talk about that specifically. Set up bank accounts. I give you regular banks. I give you online banks. Pick Chime, wherever you want to go. But make sure some interest is going somewhere. You're not just saving. Make sure a portion of the money is going somewhere, and getting interest. It's really important to do that. And the key to Daniela said is you want to be making some money. You may not get to the point where you're paying yourself yet, but make sure though the money that you're using is going right back into your business. And this is something that I love talking about. You don't need all the fancy doodads. My girl Lizette is here, and I know she'll probably yell at me, but
I don't have anything fancy besides a ring light.
I watched Denali today just shoving stuff into envelopes, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh my God. That's what my husband does. Like, since I met him, I used to look at him and go, and hasn't had a bad review. He be shoving that stuff in there, and don't get him started with that padded envelope, right?
You can put a lot of stuff in that thing.
Roll that stuff up like a taco and shove it in there. So you don't need stuff. It doesn't cost that much money, but it all adds up. I don't care if you're buying all the stickers and everything from the dollar store. I got me some little plastic bags, and thankfully I did get my last ones off of Amazon because my store that I go to wasn't open. It's a family paper store. It's 3 minutes away. It's in the shopping center with Plato's Closet, and I go and get all these clear plastic bags, and it's like you can get 100 small ones for $3 and up to $8. 100 to 200 bags, clear bags.
Awesome.
Stickers that I make, put my sticker on there and send it off. I happen to have postcards from Poshmark because I celebrated at my 4th Posh and Sip. They sent me 200 postcards, and I'm using those suckers until they're gone. And it's stickers. So you have to, and Sarah is correct. My husband, I met him as an eBay seller because like on Poshmark, I'm like, I joke with him. I said, sweetie, it's Posh. And he's like, I don't care. Shove in the thing. And that's what
it doesn't matter.
The more stuff you send your customer, I don't like it. Please don't send me something when it's jumping out. I can't. That happened to me one time. I opened up and stuff was everywhere. And I was like, see, now I got to vacuum the daggone floor. You thought it was cute, but don't send me any nail polish. I got a couple of nail polish. What if that thing explodes in my stuff? So we think I've heard, it's never happened to me, but on Poshmark, I've heard stories where customers open cases and they're like, I only asked for this. I did not ask for all this. So we as sellers get too invested in what we think our customer is going to like. Oh, we got to go to extra mile. I just saw Carla with List Perfectly. She has white tissue paper. She invested in a stamp and she stamps on her white tissue paper. That is nice and simplistic.
Perfect.
I want to use twine. I used to use yarn. I got tons of yarn, but I stick myself in a plastic bag into a poly mailer. I have 300 poly mailers left over because I used to have a successful crochet business, and that's what I use, plain white poly mailers. No one's complained. I don't really even care about love notes. People think, I have over 3,000 or some sales on Poshmark. I can get about 100.
I know.
To whatever. And literally it's not even something, I tell you, my first review was a 1-star because I just threw these shoes in the box, and I was wrong about that. And I was like, because I was used to throwing hats in a little poly mailer from crochet. Right. So I was like, she was right. So I gave her that. But no one really cares about that. We overthink.
No.
You do not have the money. If you're buying it, you're spending money that is unnecessary. Now, if you already have...
There are so many things that are free. Free supplies. Get them. You can get free, let's say you have a thermal printer. You can also get free thermal paper. DM me on Instagram if you don't know how to get it. But there are ways of getting free thermal paper through other shipping sources. Yeah. So do that. Don't pay money for that.
Yeah, UPS and all those good places are.
There you go. UPS. That's the one. Leslie just said it.
Oh yeah. So like
Leslie just said it. Yeah, UPS has free thermal paper for you.
They have thermal paper and they have regular printer paper. So you just go right in and create an account and get the free.
Yep.
It's the same thing. So if you use a regular printer, you can use both sides because that's what we use. Like
I'll be sending you a DM.
Yeah, Thomas uses the printer. He gets to stick and I get the full page. To me, that's kind of like an investment, and I treat him to that. But now I have my roller printer, and when I got the birthday money, I was like, what do I want to do? It was a gift to me, so I'm going to gift because it's hard for me to buy stuff. Like I've been reselling for 4.5 years.
I just bought these. Do you know how difficult it was for me?
We talked about that. Yes, we talked about that. So, but that's what it's supposed to be about. It's about what is necessary, right? As opposed to what we want. We can't let our wants outweigh what we need, So hello all the friends. I didn't get a chance to say hello to Lizette. I did tease her and call her out. Terry Lynn, Dusty Leather and Lace. Hello, Kelly. Cynthia came in. Hola, Cynthia. ¿Cómo está? And everyone who's here, thank you so much. Let's see, it says, let's go. You see any good comments? Okay, so you got Chime for reselling. Yes, I have Chime, I have Vero. I use another bank called Lily, which is for resellers. They have what they call like a tax bucket, where every time you invest, instead of savings, it goes into your tax bucket. And you buy something, it'll come up and say, is this for life or is it for work? If it's for work, it goes into your tax bucket. So at the end, you saved up enough money to pay your taxes off, your estimated taxes, and it's already there for you.
Oh, that's great.
Lily. So I like that a lot. It's no
Lilly or Lily?
Lili. Lili. And it's a nice and yellow thing. Yes. And it's actually an app specifically for entrepreneurs. That's how they market it. Yeah.
Love it.
It's the same thing. You can use it as direct deposit. And so also what I will say about my bank accounts is the way that it works for me is I have several businesses. So for every business I have a bank account. So my Chime, that my Poshmark and my Macari money go into my Chime account. In my Lily account, all of my Etsy money goes into my Lily account.
Okay, yeah.
The Vero Bank, that was Nikki was talking about that. They're just like Chime, and they're actually owned by the same Bancroft company. Bancroft.
Okay.
And so it's the same concept, no fees or anything like that. And I use that for my new website that I just started, which is a Resellers Pass and Masterclass, where my ebooks are sold and my student webinars and courses. So that money goes into there. So it's all structured. I break everything down in savings. I have an acorn and a stash, and I have some investments. So it's like I'm thinking towards the future, and it's really strategic the way that I'm doing anything. So that way, when I get paid, I know where everything is. Right. And way. So just in case I need to, talk to my husband about, like, it'll all be laid out. I have things like written out so that he can figure stuff out, just like he has things written out for me. Just in case I need to run. I was just telling my daughter, like, my box is over my head, everything, so that she can do shipping or whatever. So I do have things like streamlined.
Oh, Hope is here. Hi, Hope.
Hope, hey.
She saves lives. She saves clothes. She saves all the things.
Oh,
right, Hope?
Yes. I saw her with her beautiful daughter. That was such a beautiful picture. It says, I enjoy doing it. I will keep doing it. You'll have to do exactly. You have to do what works for you. You definitely do. No one's taking away from that. Everyone has their own opinion. We're all individuals. And so this is just food for thought, and this is just conversation. So it's not, I use you as an example just because I know I can joke with you. And if I am offending you, Lizette, I do apologize. But that people who are my personal friends, like I use Daniela all the time, and she'll say, you use me all the time. You can just, because I'm not out to hurt her or do anything. So that if I call you out, that's because my intent is that I know that I can play around with you.
I would love to buy a thermal printer. This is just real talk right now. I can't bring myself to buy one.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just, and I know it's an investment, but it's a big investment.
It's a lifesaver, though. It is.
I know. That's what everyone says.
I wasn't even going to do it. I honestly wasn't going to. And again, I was like, wow, I got the money, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So I put out Dymo, Rollo, and the community said Rollo, and I went and ordered it. I mean, it took me like 2 weeks to get it because it was on back order. They're selling like really crazy. And I applied to be an affiliate. That takes a long kind of process though. But it really is. Even Thomas was like, oh, I'm saving for mine now, because it just spits it out like really quick. I have a nice setup. And I was already getting myself a MacBook. So I just kept, like when I'm talking to you now, on my Dell at my shipping station. So I kept my Dell and I connected it and just made it a, shipping station with the roller.
Yeah.
So I think it's really a nice investment. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it, because it's 100. Mine was 169. I went on Amazon and I was like, oh, well, let me go to the website and just kind of see same price.
What the difference is, right?
Same price. It's the same price. It's just the Rollo sells it on Amazon for people who shop on Amazon. I don't know if they have day sales or anything.
I think it's important to note that too. Just because you see it on Amazon doesn't mean you can't find it cheaper somewhere else. Amazon's not always the cheapest.
I know. Which is Hope says, I have a generic no-name one from Amazon.
Oh, nice.
$50. It worked like a charm for a year, and now it's still going. There you go.
What's the name of it, Hope? Send it to me.
Don't keep a secret.
Send it to me.
Cynthia says, you can do great stuff for cheap, less than 30 cents.
Nice. So to add the cost, yeah.
Okay. There you go. I love it. It says Dymo is my best friend. And then Denali was just saying, she said some people hate Dymo. I hate Dymo. Some people are just diehard. So it's like whatever,
Yeah.
So let's talk about your, we were talking about YouTube, first of all. I really like everything that you're doing over YouTube.
Thank you, Leslie.
And you've actually encouraged me to, you encourage me all the time. So just so you know, this old lady over here. The fact that you hang with me, girl, seriously, you have really been doing a lot to your YouTube. Tell everybody what you've been doing, and I'm more so for encouragement, and that's what we do. And Daniela, she's not a bragger or anything like that. No. I ask her questions because what Daniela and hopefully what I do is encourage you to look at things in a different way. Like I know Margaret had said on a comment, I think we were on Sarah's or something, and how she didn't think her YouTube would get big. And I was like, Margaret, like I started 6 months ago, 130 subscribers. And I think Margaret has like 151 subscribers, and she just started. So never say never. And if you build it, they will come, and you just keep putting out content you like. But as you grow, your content will grow with you.
Yeah. So for me, I had I talked about this in the podcast too a couple of times in the last few weeks, but I had this moment where I was like, I just need to dedicate the time to YouTube and make it something that I really want it to be. And it's not going to be exact, because YouTube is an ever evolving thing, like a reselling business. It never stays the same. If you look at big YouTubers, they've changed about 100 times over, and they continue to change because you have to change with how the times are, right? And I said, okay, I'm going to start really basic. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sign up for Skillshare, which I used Lori's link I don't have it in front of me right now, but if Leslie finds it, she'll add it to the chat. And I signed up for Skillshare, and I spent like 2 days of really like sitting down and watching videos specific to what it is that I wanted to improve. So the first thing I wanted to do was look at Canva, and I've used Canva for at least 5 or 6 years. I used it in my previous position, but I wanted more YouTube related Canva content, not necessarily just basic Canva overview, right? So I watched a few videos, and I just kind of went with it, and I made all new thumbnails. I made thumbnails for all, and I don't have that many videos. I think at the time I had like 12, so I didn't have a ton of videos. And I redid all of my thumbnails, and I was like, all right, we're going to give it like 3 or 4 days and see what changes, if anything. Within 24 hours, I went from 300 subscribers to like 350 something or 360 something in that short span of time. And the only thing that I did, and I didn't upload anything, the only thing that I did was change my thumbnails. Yeah. That was it. And that was like, okay, motivation, right? Because we all need something to happen to get like the real motivation to do the things that we need to do. So I did that. Then I was like, okay, let's go on Skillshare and start looking at SEO a little bit more. And I'm very familiar with SEO, but I wanted to look at YouTube specific SEO. I wanted to look at keywords a little bit differently. I started YouTubing other, not even just resellers, like just other bloggers and stuff, and what their channels look like and what words they're using and how they're manipulating their titles and descriptions. I didn't look at the tags yet. And then I started doing the same thing in that. And then I had like another jump in like 10, 15 more subscribers doing that. Then I downloaded TubeBuddy. This is like the rabbit hole my brain goes down, but this is the only way for me to motivate myself. And then I started diving into TubeBuddy. Now I'm very like new to TubeBuddy, but I was like, let me try it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I played around with it. I watched a few videos. I hopped on one of their lives they did this week on Tuesday, and that's helped as well. And now I'm up to I think like three something. Let's check right now. I am at, if it would load, I think it was like 381. It's not loading for whatever. 381. I have 381 subscribers. So
how can Monday, you've got all those children whose names you can't remember.
I know, right? I know. I had 300 subscribers on Monday. I'm at 381, and this is a week. 1 week. Yeah. That's all I did for a week's time. They jumped.
It was like we happened to be like texting each other. It was like in real time, and she would text me. The number was, she was working on some stuff. It was a Sunday, I think. And she was just, so it was like amazing how just a few adjustments you make, your views can go up, everything can go up for you. It really is. I tried to, tomorrow I'll put Lori's link in the comments. Her link was too long that she sent me. She just sent it to me yesterday because I wanted to use somebody else's link before I knew Lori had it. But I wanted for some classes for my daughters. They're home. Well, one is in college, but the other one wants to cook. So yeah, send it to me. But
there's so many different things on Skillshare too.
Yeah, I'll DM. Yeah, they have some.
It's a lot. It's not just like YouTube specific. Like there's photography, videography, whatever.
Yeah, because I promised Cynthia I would try to be fluent in Spanish by next November so that I can be on her podcast. But not even that. I'll be down in North Carolina anyway. So she and I are going to be meeting up because I want to be conversational. And I went in and they have like these classes. And my daughter is trying to do a mentorship or what is it? An internship in Mexico, even though right now with COVID and stuff, she might not be able to do what she wants to do, but for the summer. So we're practicing with each other and different things, but it's tons of classes. I'm doing classes on another, I've been doing some classes. I'm actually going to do a video about it where I actually have gotten accredited and I have some life coaching and stuff that I've been doing, which is really cool. So I have certificates so far, and I have 4 more classes to go that I signed up for. Udemy or something like that. Right now, these are only like $10 if you want a real accreditation for things like that. But Skillshare,
I will say for anyone
on Skillshare.
Oh, nice.
To teach people
if you want to learn about SEO and you have Skillshare, or you want to get Skillshare free for the 2 months from Lori's link, you should, there's 2 ways to do this. If you don't want Skillshare, it's fine. You can Google this and watch YouTube videos, but Moz, M-O-Z, I talk about him in my search engine optimization video. I actually met him at maybe like 4 years ago at an event in Boston. It's called HubSpot. My companies use HubSpot, and they have this huge event that goes on once a year, and it's It's called Inbound, and it's all about SEO. It's all about growth and all that kind of stuff. People come from all over the world to this event, and it's all different businesses. And I met Maz, and he's fascinating. And he has content on Skillshare, which is phenomenal. If you're a newbie to SEO, watch him. He's very like eccentric. He's got like a really cute little mustache going on. But he's awesome. And his content is very engaging. Like when I saw him in person, it was extremely engaging. He was there with his wife. But even watching him on YouTube, he lays it out in a way that you can understand if you're a beginner or even if you're advanced in SEO. So
yeah, so listen, so the cool thing I like about building relationships is like Daniela's giving you information about a person she actually has met, but she also looks at their she listens to them. That's what I love about making connections, because sometimes you can go, well, wait, I need to learn something. And I want to start doing a little bit more on Reels. They just took my music away, which was not a big deal. I'm not a big on TikTok. I can't stand TikTok. I'll put some stuff on.
Me neither. Get rid of it. I could care less.
Because I'm already building content on Instagram. So I've might as well just stay where I'm at. So I just decided to take mine so that I don't have music. That just means I have to be more educational and more purposeful. So I said to Rosalind, look, I need to figure out how to get my words on different pages. So she created a Reels video just for that today. And it's like a 5-minute video, and it does exactly what I need it to do.
Nice.
Talk, so you can point or whatever, but it puts your words exactly
right where you want them.
Exactly, just how you pulled your screen up on Zoom or however you use your phone to show.
I downloaded an app, and because I have an iPhone 8, I don't have a new fancy iPhone, so I can't record my screen. So I downloaded a free app and it's called Recorded, or it is called. Record it, ! And it's free, and I recorded on there. And as I was recording, because for whatever reason the voice didn't work, I had to redo that recording 3 times. I'm just going to throw that out there. Wow. 3 times, because I didn't realize that it wasn't recording my voice for whatever reason. It could be because I have an older phone. I don't know. So I opened iMovie and was recording my voice as I was doing things on my phone. So that's how I got that to work. But if you have a newer phone, I'm sure it will work. It's just me, and I have an old phone.
I think everybody, I'm going to start more challenges with our community. I've been leaving them alone for a little bit because we've been going through so much stuff, but now it's time to energize ourselves, because I really think it's important for us to start using these. So if you have an older phone, maybe would it be related to Android? If you have an Android, maybe record it.
They might have an Android version. I don't know.
It would be nice.
I'm sure Android has something like it. Let me see.
So we all want to see that. We get so amazed. Like I have a brand new MacBook, and I have a brand new iPad, and so mine doesn't even have to be plugged in, and just instantly opens up. And I was like, oh my god! It pairs together. And I just it came up on the screen. I was like, how beautiful is that? I love it. So
it looks like it's just for iOS, but I'm sure Android has something else.
We were talking about that. That's what we were talking about. But Daniela's saying because her phone is older, that she might not be able to do it, but you can just connect it. Rosalind does that all the time. That's how she did hers through Zoom. And my iPad, you might be able to try your iPad and see.
Okay. So she's got the same one. So there you go. Record It is on Android too. So that's awesome. The other thing too, if you guys are podcast listeners, and you want to listen to non-reseller related content that is related to entrepreneurship, I am a huge Amy Porterfield fan. I've been listening to her since I started working at the marketing firm. That was she was my go-to when I was there. She's extremely motivating. She has a lot of free ebooks that she puts out. She has free webinars, all this different stuff. She's amazing. Amy Porterfield is amazing. You should listen. You will binge her. She's that good. And she's relatable. She makes it so that it doesn't matter what type of business you have, you can relate everything that she does to your business. She's a coach.
Yeah. See, and that's what I think people should be doing, because I just got accredited as a life coach, so you can come see me. But anyway, I can perform weddings too.
I know life coaches to come see me.
You get married, I can perform. Look, let me tell you something. You have to open up yourself to possibilities. We were talking about this midway. You don't know where you're going to be needed. You don't know what skill set is going to be needed, and you don't know what's going to go down. Look at all these amazing stores that are closing. These stores that we were patronizing every single day. Like I was walking, which totally masked up. I went unwillingly because my daughter had an interview at Journeys or Vans or somewhere in the mall.
Right.
And so I said, okay, to the other girls, let's go to Nordstrom Rack. And Nordstrom was empty. DSW was empty. And I said, let me just okay, here's some money to go to the food court. And I was like, oh my gosh, all the people in here, let me just get my Cheesecake Factory and get back to the car. But it's like the mall is like the stores are closing down. So we have to get creative in the things that we do. Everybody has a skill set. They forget that they do. They forget. And so like with Daniela, she's a natural teacher because she went to school for that. She's working in, for the government right now, but she still has all her teaching abilities, and that's what makes her relatable. So now she can jump in and literally do anything. And I know she has so much other stuff that's going to be coming in our community, who I love our community, but we can be closed-minded. We have to open our mind and not just think, oh my gosh, you're a reseller and you're doing that. No, I'm a business owner. So I'm going where my skills take me and where I can make some money. And so a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is not reseller related. So if I say to you, it's nothing wrong with resellers making courses, because Sarah has a course, but she is doing courses like for her dashboard. She's expanding because Chris, our good friend from Daily Refinement, challenges all the time because he'll throw that out there. Anytime he sees me, I know Leslie's working on some digital products, and he says the same thing to Sarah. It does take time, but if you sit down and really think about it, you're already doing something. So what you're doing. Wendy Spann, our good friend Salt Creek Style, who's on the road with her husband, so she doesn't have time to engage with us. She said to me, Leslie, every video you literally have, you can just make into something, Facebook, that kind of stuff. So I'm like teaching the mainstream because that's where the money is. I'm consulting. You don't know what I'm doing behind the scenes. I have consulting. So take what you learn, and everyone is an expert in their own business.
Right. If you're good at creating digital content, or you're good at transcribing, let's say you're a medical transcriber, because it's a dying field because everything's becoming digital with that, go on Fiverr and transcribe voicemails for people.
I used to do Fiverr. Anything that I did.
I used to do Fiverr too.
Anything crochet relating, I was on Fiverr. I was on Skillshare. I created patterns and sold them on Etsy. Listen, this hustle didn't just start.
Right.
So digital products.
I used to make jewelry, like elastic beaded jewelry. That's what I started making when I was before I got married. It's like, I need to make extra money. What can I do? That's what I started doing. I started creating jewelry, and I sold a ton of it. And then I was like, okay, I don't like this anymore. I don't want to do it. It was too demanding. It took too much time. And then I started looking at other things, and I started on Fiverr, and it was like all these other things. And now I'm in reselling, and I'll always stay here. Like I say this all the time, I'm going to stay here, but I also have other things that I'm working on behind the scenes that none of you guys know about. And it's going to take a lot of time to create all of these things. And that's just something that I don't have right now, but I have meetings going on behind the scenes of things that I'm going to release probably within the next year or two. I mean, it really depends on how fast things move with this person that I am working with, which will remain anonymous until we actually decide to come out on YouTube and do a live and talk about it. But I have 2 different projects that I've been planning. So it's reselling related, but not all at the same time.
Yeah, and that's how I am as well. It's like it's so much as like I haven't even done anything to my masterclass yet because I'm trying to get monetized. So I've been focusing I've
been telling Leslie to do a masterclass for the last year.
You're not the only one. Between you, Kayla, Nikki, and Wendy, I'm like, okay. So like I have some stuff. That's why I created. So it's called Resellers. Well, that's my group. My Facebook group is a Resellers Masterclass, and we're going to be doing live. Different people are going to be coming. I'm bringing Daniela in.
I don't think I joined that yet.
You had joined, but I took people out. So just join again. Because I started it in February, but I never did anything to it. Now all I have is just a welcome post and have people introduce themselves. And I'll be back. I just need to I want to get monetized for YouTube. So I've been focusing on that.
Go listen to Leslie's videos. Put them on the background. You don't have to actually watch.
So that's my goal. If I can, once I get that, so then I'm going to only be going live once a week instead of Tuesday and Thursday. And I have a lot of stuff going on. It's amazing. And also, one of the things I want to tell people is don't be afraid to give something up. So I sat down and I really evaluated like what I did last year. I took 900 items out of my Poshmark closet and kind of scaled down. It's a little bit more in there now because I've been playing a little bit with like Domar's inventory, but I'm closing 2 of my stores in December. I'm waiting for the holiday, and whether I make the announcement or not, or I do a video or something like that, I have to go where my heart is going,
right.
most money's coming in, and a lot of that is not reseller related at all.
Right.
It's amazing to me in the world, or even, when they start thinking of like, people start identifying you as like an influencer, and I don't
such a crazy word.
Yeah, I don't think numbers should identify you as that. But it's like, as soon as I hit 20, well, once I hit 10, I had like people kind of reaching out. But as soon as I hit 20,000 followers or community members, just like all kinds of people are coming my way to be on this podcast and do different things. So I have to really sit down and evaluate, like, where do I want to go? It's really important to really think of, don't do something because you have to see how it works for you. And I'm like 51. How much work do I want to do? Eventually, I don't want to have any product. I want everything to be, I want to have product, but digital product, me being the product. I don't want to have a lot of physical product. Because like even moving in the spring, I'm like, looking around here, like, what do I want to leave behind? So don't be afraid to give some things up. Don't be afraid to try something different. Don't be afraid to step aside out of the reselling community by still reselling. But don't be afraid to do it. Like, don't listen to the maddening crowd. That's one of the things I like to say, because we get so worried about what other people are doing. Unless you're paying my bills, and I love my husband. It's like not even a lot that he can say, because I'm an individual. As long as I don't do anything to erupt our household and our bills and things are paid, I still have to be able to make individual decisions. And I think everyone should really think about what's going to fulfill you. Don't leave your children, home alone and stuff like that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not good.
Start now, like that's what I started when my children were little, because I knew they would leave. And like the two that are home could pay me, no, never mind, because they're adults. They don't really technically don't need me for anything, So now I'm finding stuff to fulfill me. So Daniela, what are you working on in the next couple of weeks aside from work?
So listing is really what I'm gonna be working on. Listing, I sent one box to the Real. I caved. I did it. But I'm probably gonna send another one. I have a ThreadUp bag that's actually sitting outside. I'm gonna ship that off tomorrow, and it's all sales stuff or my own stuff. That's what I'm sending. I'm not like specifically sourcing for it or anything. It's stuff that even if I make $5 off of, whatever, like I don't care at this point. And that's gonna go. I'm just going to finish listing everything. I started reorganizing things in my closet. I am going to probably purchase 2 larger totes. All the totes I have are like regular size. I want like the big long ones to put all my shoes in, because the majority of my inventory is shoes and handbags. They take up a lot of space. So I need to convert some of my other totes and put all shoes and handbags in the big large ones, and then my other totes will have more room for other things. So that's my big project that I need to do, because I think I'll be in a better headspace once I get that done.
Yeah, I think inventory and getting your system together is really great. I have to do a video. I have a whole new inventory space. You can see my boxes up there, but in my hall, I have racks that are boxes, and then I have shoes nicely, and I have used those UPS shoe boxes so that I can pull them right off the shelf. And so it's a great system, because it was crazy. You can see I have like see my bag. Those are vintage bags, and they're hanging on those the shower hooks. I get a pack at the dollar store, and they're just hooked on, and they're hooked onto my rack back there. So I'm just getting creative, so stuff is not in the way. I cannot go over my space. Like the Vans and Converse came in, and I was like, okay, it's giving me.
I need to do something.
I'm like, sell, or now I got to reevaluate stuff, because I never go beyond my space. That's really what's important to me. When I get to a point that I don't have space in my house, because we each have separate areas, it has to go. So something has to go.
Yeah. And I think too, different, like ThreadUp. I don't want to talk about ThreadUp controversy, because who cares about that? I'm not going to talk about that. It's a business, and it's going to do what it's going to do. But there are a lot of buyers on ThreadUp now, because they're partnering with so many different businesses and companies, retailers. So I think, those mall brands and those brands that typically don't sell well on Poshmark, right? You can send those in. You're probably going to make more money on there.
I agree with you 100%, because that's what I did. So when I went through my inventory, before I was really thinking about ThreadUp, because I haven't sent anything in 2 months, because that's like how not my business structure.
You're so behind anyway.
Right, exactly. So when Melissa from Vinny's Closet, I went in and I was like, Melissa, I have tons of bags. I'm either going to give them away, because that's what I try to give myself away to organizations for free to people come get the stuff. And she said, no, just go look up some brands. So I went through all the bags and looked up stuff, printed out all my labels, and I sent them 14 boxes. And they took so much stuff, like stuff that had been sitting for like 2 years, mall brands. And I was like, small stuff. And the thing is, which is, if anybody who is selling on ThreadUp, which I know Marvin is, I know several people, it's such a beautiful thing to see while they take your stuff. Like my last box that they just 100% of stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, great. You did have that box. I'm like, yeah, you did have that. But it's good to go into ThreadUp and see all your stuff where they've taken all the pictures and everything. But you're like, wow, that sold. I couldn't get that sucker to sell. So if that to me, it's really the best, like, paid flea market you could have, you know.
Oh, I agree. I'm looking right now. They're actually processing 3 bags for me right now. These bags have been sitting since March.
Amazing.
March.
We talked about it. So that's been, what, you said 11 weeks or whatever, but that was supposed to be August, though. They're still a little bit behind. Yeah.
They're extremely behind.
Yeah.
They're processing 3 of them right now. And this is all donated things. This is not anything that I paid money on. So all of this, if it sells, is a nice little Christmas bonus for me.
Yeah, it was and this is so funny. My stepdaughter, she bought a bag of stuff, and I don't know if Thomas told her to give it to me or not, but it was stuff that belonged to her mother. And I was like, do I want my husband's ex-wife stuff? I went through, she works for the government. She's a social worker. In the city. And I said, oh, she had some, I was like, oh, this is cute. I was like, oh, I was already packing a box up for ThreadUp. They took everything. They took everything. I was like, I got paid.
That's great.
I felt kind of weird about that, but I was like, let me see if ThreadUp will take it.
Why not?
Wear nice pants to work. Hey, Sandra, and all the people who just joined. Daniela and I are going to be wrapping up. Hi, Roslyn. Does anybody have any last minute questions for Daniela?
And feel free to ask me anything.
Put your thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please watch the videos. Play them in the background. Pretend that you're listening to my soothing voice on the podcast. But
I do not have a soothing voice. I have a very energetic voice.
I just want you guys to know that I've been steaming the same Sundance top for the last 10 minutes. And it says, hang dry and squeeze desired. Okay, so this is what I want to tell you. If you want a great
you need to follow Hope.
You need to follow Hope. Rags_to riches. So rags to riches. Check out her YouTube video. I mean, especially the one where she can't remember her kid's name. And I had to comment because I was like, Hope, I have 5. And unfortunately, 3 of the girls have an S name. So by the time I get to, I'm like, you know who you are. Stop. The youngest was like, that's not me. I'm like, well, you know who you are. So why you let me stay here calling 3 people names? You're 18 and you still gonna let me call you Stacy and Stephanie.
Right.
So I totally understand that, Hope. Believe me. My son wouldn't go for it though. Do not call him Tyra, Stacy, or Stephanie, because Craig is like mom.
Yeah, right.
What she says, do you have to wait for a bag or can you just send a box?
You have to wait for a label if you're going to be sending a box. So you'll have to request a label. So it depends on your profile. Some people are able to just get labels. Some people are able to get labels and bags. Some people can get bags. You have to sign on and see what they allow.
Both.
I can do both too. I can do both
because I'm old school with that, So I was way back in the beta. So you can go on. They all and sometimes I do it just to see because people are like I couldn't get a label.
Me too. I want to see how many I can get.
Let me just go on today. Oh, I can get a bag or a label for a box. Mm-hmm. So. It all depends. If you're new, you're in the new process. So you're probably doing a whole thing pattern. But if you're already in there, it still depends. Because then also, I would prefer the label for the box because they're sending you this nice plastic bag. No, don't let them. Just get the label for the box. You can send up to 30 pounds in the box, So if you can get a label, what I would say also is just print out a few just to kind of have them. Because then that helps when you have like,
a surplus of anything.
Yes, because instead of waiting, don't wait. Just don't be greedy, but print about 10 if you can, because then that gives you the incentive to start going through some things. If you're struggling, if you're homeschooling and you don't have time to resell, if things aren't selling for you, print out a bunch of labels and then fill up boxes if you can. Don't get concerned that things aren't moving fast because ThreadUp is really backed up. They're about to change a whole lot of stuff They're about to flip.
And if you didn't think they were going to start changing things,
I already knew they were. Like,
were you sleeping under a rock?
And then people are really like getting upset about it. But I'm like, it's not your business. Poshmark's not your business. eBay's not your business. Macari's not your business. You don't own Etsy. You don't own Depop. Amazon could care less, because when you're gone,
Amazon is like the epitome of not caring.
We're renters on space. We're renters. ThreadUp owes us nothing, because ThreadUp is a business in themselves. So we have to start.
ThreadUp was not meant for us.
No, it wasn't. They're surprised. They are totally overwhelmed. They're a business. Imagine you're one person. If you lose something, because we get so upset, but we forget to take ourselves out of the equation. When I lose something, it'll take me a whole day, and I go, oh, you know what? It's in that daggone box over there. So can you imagine?
Let's not even talk about that. I can't find a pair of shoes. It's been 2 days. Can't find them.
So
I know I have them.
Yeah. So we're runners on the space. So if you want to run a true business, start a website. That's the bottom line. I have 2 websites. You know, I have a graphic design business. I'm selling some stuff on Etsy, but then I opened up a separate business. Graphic necessity, but I have a reseller's passion. I've had that for the last 4 years, and that's my digital products and stuff are on there. So you have to figure out. I have a reseller's passion masterclass. Those are my sites. I own the domains.
Yep.
You know, and I pay monthly whatever, but make 3 sales. I've paid the $30 for my Shopify.
Right.
But you have to really think about it from that way. We get so upset. I love looking at the community. Some days, if I need to scroll through and listen to
the other thing too is, why are you putting all your eggs in one basket?
Yes.
Now, our very good friend Daniela does send the majority of her stuff to ThreadUp, but she creates boxes and she still resells on Poshmark and eBay. So
yes. So that's about diversifying. So it's also about, this is really good conversation, because people what happens is they put reselling in one chunk. It's so many platforms. That's diversifying. So if you were just like, I just want to say, in the reselling community, Poshmark aside, because there's some people that come on, like when I do comments and stuff, people are like, yeah, it's like all Poshmark. So that person is strictly Poshmark, and you're not realizing I'm talking to the whole community. You know, when I say meet for coffee, I'm talking to, this is not a Posh and Sip, baby. This is a meet and greet, So if you think in terms of all the platforms, you're diversifying yourself. All the people who are using List Perfectly and Vendoo and those, you're diversifying your business. Now you're a business owner. You're not a hobbyist. Because the IRS will be coming for you. You can play if you want. But if you sell on Poshmark, Depop, Tradesy, Cutesy, Curtsy, Kitizen, eBay, I'm sorry. You send your stuff to the Real, you send your stuff to ThreadUp. All those, that's diversifying your income. Okay.
Yep.
You create multiple streams of income, because it's not coming from one platform. When you sell when you send something to eBay, Poshmark's not paying you for that. So you've diversified your income. So think about that. Sometimes people don't think about it, but you are, because how can I do? You don't want to do what I'm doing. I couldn't do this 20 years ago because I had children. My oldest child is 30 and my youngest is 18. I have no babies now. I have no babies. I take care of no one. People, they may pop in every now and then. Mom, I need your help. I take care of no one but Leslie right now. So that's the reason why I can do as many things. I can work when I want to. If I want to, I can take a couple days off. I need to be resting more than I should, but it keeps me in a good headspace too.
Right.
The other thing, I don't have time to think about woe is me. And, I love working. I love being creative. I love coming up with new ideas. And I think it's great. What do you think of that, Daniela?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's always good to be learning. I think it's always good to keep your brain going. There's something that my grandmother says all the time, that the reason why she still has it together in her 80s is that she's always been like that. She's always thinking, wanting to do things, being active with us when we were kids. And even now as adults, she wants to know what's going on. What's this piece of technology? What do you do with this? Just simple things like that. But keeping your brain going, listening to content that inspires you, or listening to content that just gets your brain kind of going a little bit. And you're like, oh, all right, yeah, I can do that, or let me try it. What's the worst that can happen? Learning a new hobby that's outside of your business, reading a book, anything like that. I just think you have to be able to mold yourself and be motivated to mold yourself.
Yeah,
you're not a stagnant thing.
Certificates, like I've been taking courses. I'm getting certified. And one thing, like for people who, if you're going through like some, perimenopause or whatever, do something that stimulates your brain. That's why I do these things, because I will have that. We all get that moment of why did I walk in the room or whatever. That's the slow process. But once you reach like definitely 45 and up, you're going to you have that brain fog moment. And I was freaking out one time because I said to my doctor, am I going through something? She's like, nope, you're going through perimenopause. It's brain fog. So you have to continue to keep yourself going, keep your mind occupied. That's why sometimes you'll see me pause because I may have forgot like something, but that's okay. I'll fill it in with something else. Because some days I wake up and I'm like, what was the word for that? And I just have to say, you know what? I just have to figure it out. So this keeps me stimulated, keep doing the podcast, keep talking to people, keep making videos. That's for me. I was writing things down, but I actually just got a stand for my iPad.
Nice.
I have a teleprompter app so that I can use that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to be creating webinars and stuff. And I'm old school. I write stuff down and I'm looking down like, I have to look down. So I'm just really, learning things. And I don't know a lot of stuff, people. You think that I do, but it's all because of YouTube, Google, and all these places that I learn from, because I don't know anything. I'm learning so much. I'll send Daniela like, do you know this or whatever? Because I don't know. And that's how we learn, through the community and us having lives and having people on, that kind of thing. But quickly, I want to say hello to Irish Lux, Glow Girl Glow. Brittany came on. She said, I love that idea. I'll pull up my planner and just start writing and ideas come to me. Yes, I wake up in the middle of the night. That's where a lot of stuff comes to me.
Creativity.
Yes. There's Sandra. Go and watch the live with me and Sandra. Sandra finally revealed her age. She's 66 and beautiful, y'all.
Wow.
She was afraid to do it. I did not ask her, but it was coming. It was coming, and she just did it.
Right.
I was so happy that she did it on this, on my channel. But she's going. She worked.
That's great.
And now she's reselling and doing TikTok and all kinds of stuff. Age is a number, right, Sandra? So all my friends, I'm so happy that you could come on. Better late than never. Just watch the playback. I am literally, probably after today, I'll be down to like, by the end of the month, I'll be monetized. It's coming. It's like, if you ever look at your monetized, whoever has a YouTube channel and you go, it's like a little bit like,
oh God. Yeah.
I woke up this morning, I was like, oh my God, it says 157. I only need 157 watch hours. Amazing. 2 weeks ago, I was at 1,000. This community is amazing. You guys are just like, seriously, you're amazing. Daniela is amazing. I thank you for always just showing up for me, friend. Look at that face. Every time I see her picture on Instagram, I'm like, look at that face. She's like, she has glasses or something.
This is called.
I don't see what. I don't see
5 a.m.
Where the baby's
at? Sleeping.
Oh, they're over there. Oh, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
He's such a good boy.
Oh my gosh, hello.
He's a little baby.
Hi, darling. How are you? Oh my gosh. Nikki says Daniela is amazing.
Well, thank you. I told my husband that Marco is famous on YouTube because he's literally in every video.
He's making appearance. He knows. Look, he's not even ready. He's like,
look at him perking up.
Yeah, he's like, I know what's up, Marco.
He can't hear you, but he can see you. Look at him. Let me go back to bed, please.
Hello. Oh, look at him. Oh my God.
You need to get some cats, Leslie.
As
soon as you move.
Cats. I had to give my cats away. We had two. I had Cinnamon, and my daughter had Mimi. And because when we first married Thomas, we were at like an apartment, and it was 6 of us squeezed in there first. So when I move, I don't care what he says. I'm having it because I had my kitty before I met him. So
yeah, gotta get your 2 little kitties back.
Yeah, I'm a cat. I grew up with cats all my life. It's so funny. I grew up with cats, but my mother doesn't have cats now. She has dogs. So it's like really weird. So she doesn't have any cats, anyway. Yeah. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you guys. Just continue to look forward, fail forward, do the things that you think that you cannot do. Excuses are no good here, friends. Take care.